Welcome back to Beers and More Tears, and welcome back to Death Valley. Now, we've been to Death Valley before. We've explored a lot of different things, but this time we're going to check out some of the old mining mills. We're going to go to one that's pretty popular on the beaten path, and we're going to also go to one that's maybe not visited as much, one off the beaten path, kind of like a hidden gem of Death Valley. So, stick around, you're going to enjoy this. Like I said, welcome back, and let's go. One of the first places we're going to stop here along the Death Valley on the mill tour is the Harmony Borax, which is actually one of the first borax mills in Death Valley. This is all operated in the late 1800s. So let's go check it out. We're walking up the path now. One of the more popular spots. You can take a look at the valley there, it's just spectacular. So this is the main part of the mill area, and it's pretty well preserved, and that's because they've got it fenced off, so unsavory characters can't come over here and do damage to it. But look at that valley. And you can see out there in the background there's just some more of the stuff here at the old Borax Mill. Let's see what we can get a closer look at that. Right. Pretty windy out here today. I apologize for the wind. I can to block it. Sometimes if you're watching on TV, you got an entertainment center, the sounds of that wind coming through are pretty bad. So can't stop the wind here, even with my microphone. So what we're looking at here is that this looks like an old, kind of locomotive in the train cars that would fill with the ore, with the minerals. They would drag it out of here down to probably the bottom of the valley, and then they would haul it out with these mules. They did it back in those days, in very harsh conditions, I might add. These guys dealt with over 100 degrees in the summertime, and even in the wintertime it gets kind of chilly, so not ideal. As I was alluding to earlier, this is one of the more popular spots, the Borax Harmony Mill. So we're going to press on, we're going to find a more hidden mill. We're going to go on the other side of Death Valley, we're going to explore that. So stick around, you're going to enjoy that. So that's coming up. And that's not as much of a touristy place as this one. Matter of fact, I won't even probably expect to see anybody out there other than me filming this video for you. So let's press on. All right, so we came on the other side of Death Valley to one of the lesser travel places. I can tell you right now, there was nobody on the road where we're coming up here. We are going to this place called, I think it's Jurgens Mill. I'll get a better pronunciation for you probably. I think there was a placard that we saw back down there. So anyhow, let me get myself sorted here, and I will tell you all about this place in a minute. It looks pretty spectacular. There you go. So this Jurgens Mill was built in the 30s, and I think the reason why it was put here because of its close proximity to the springs. Now, water here in Death Valley obviously is pretty scarce. That's why they call it Death Valley. Anyway, well, I'm glad we can bring you back to Death Valley, and we've done a lot of videos here in Death Valley, but I will tell you, and I've said this in a few other videos, is you can't see everything in Death Valley in one day. You have to take several trips. And so far in the videos that we've shown you, so we always show you something different. And we're going to show you something different now. So stick around. I'm going up here. Check out the mill. So this guy Jurgens, who bought the mill, he bought it right before, if I'm reading it correctly, right before the Gold Reserve Act in, I think, 1934. So that information that he may have had, okay, probably helped him out become a very wealthy man, because after that, the price of gold shot up. And that's why this mill exists. So let's poke around and see what else we can discover here at Jurgens Mill. Now, I will tell you, Death Valley is a pretty cool place to go to. And it is well worth the visit. And there, like I was saying, there are a lot of different things you can check out here in Death Valley. And it's about 2 hours away from Las Vegas. So if you've made the mistake of booking a Las Vegas vacation and you're staying for more than 3 or 4 days, you want to come out to Death Valley to kill a day. Keep you away from the casino and those high prices, those resort fees. So come out here and check this out. It'll be well worth it. Anyway, let's see what else we got up here. So this guy Jurgens, he had, I think he owned the mill for about 10 years. And that's when he sold it. And it kind of operated on and off with different ownership until the 70s. And now it's just a relic, like a lot of these mills. But this one is hidden away in Death Valley. There is no, I've seen one car, and I can hear it going by now. I've seen one car in about the last 40 minutes where we're at right now. So this is the places that I like to go to. Like in the beginning of the video, we took you to one of the more popular destination spots. But if you really look on a map and you kind of investigate and kind of do your own research, you can find some cool spots along Death Valley in the areas there, and make it worth your while. You don't really want to be in the big crowds. I don't like the big crowds. People mostly annoy me these days. So, but getting older. So, all right, let's press on. All right. This road that's going up the canyon here. Came across a couple old vehicles here. Check that out. I could not tell you what kind of vehicle this was or what year it was. Looks like it's pretty rusted out. I think over here, down in this canyon here, yeah, let's look at this bad boy. Oh yeah, so who knows? I mean, maybe these vehicles just stopped operating one day when they work in the mills and just left them here. But now they're just shooting practice for a lot of people who come out here to just fire weapons. So let's check out this vehicle here. Yeah, this is just some of the cool stuff you're gonna find here. When you get off the road and you get off of those tourist destinations, this to me is what it's all about. I mean, you look at history right here. What kind of vehicle is this? If anybody knows that's watching this video, drop me a comment, because I can't really tell what that is. This looks like it was a road maybe going down out of the canyon. These cars just stopped here and just, they've stayed here forever. They will be here forever. I'm not really sure what this is. This is part of the old equipment left from the mine. And an old trash can here. As you can see here. You know, you notice there's not a lot of trees out here, and there's not a lot of wood. So anything that they built here, they would repurpose. I think we did a pretty good job of showing you what is left of the Jurgens Mill. And there's one more mill we're going to show you. It's just a few miles away from this one. It's called the Eureka Mill here in Death Valley. So stick around. That's how we're going to wrap up the video. So don't go anywhere, and we'll wrap things up there and see what else we can find on our Death Valley adventure. Desert Dreams. You know, I say desert dreams is because a lot of people came to this desert with dreams of riches, but a lot of those folks did not get rich. They went bust. And some people died. That's why they call it Death Valley. Okay, so now that we've left the Jurgens Mill, I was butchering the name earlier, we're headed to the Eureka Mill. So there is some cool stuff up ahead of me here. So you're gonna like this. All right, we're getting closer. Hang tight. Okay, so this is what I think they call the Agrariberry Camp. I mean, if you worked in the mines back in those days, you lived in places like this. This may have been like a general store, maybe there was a saloon. Let's go inside. You want to go inside? All right, let's check it out. So, you know, a place like this, obviously, it operated late 1800s, early 1900s. The rooms are small, the ceilings are low. People, you know, weren't as tall those days, but this structure is still pretty much intact for being wood. So maybe this wasn't probably built in the early 1900s, maybe like 1935, less than 100 years ago. Because mostly I'll see a lot of these corrugated shacks that are, you know, that are made of steel because they hold up better. So, you know, this mine, just like a lot of others, you know, they operated, you know, for several years, and then when everything was out of the mine, people left, and they left abandoned towns. Like, check at that, like this one. Yeah, you can see out there, there's where the mine was, or the mill. Stuff would come down out of the mountain, and there's an abandoned vehicle way down this road. Now, I've showed you plenty of abandoned vehicles already today, so there's no need for me to climb up that hill to show it to you. But I will show you this vast valley, and this is on the other side of Death Valley, and so you'd have to get off the beaten path to get to this. But it's worth the trip, you know, definitely worth the trip. So check out the Eureka Mill, or what they call over here, the Agrariberry Camp. Now, this is a nice treat. Now, if you like ghost towns, this is perfect. You know, I'm a ghost town enthusiast, and that's what I do. I do a lot of filming of ghost towns in Nevada, California, Arizona, parts of Utah. That's what we do. That's our specialty for the channel. We go to these places so you don't have to. Or maybe it gives you inspiration to get out there yourself and to see what is in the Old West. That must be looks like the old outhouse. So figured if you lived in this camp 100 years ago, and it's the middle of the night, you got to go do your business, that's where you went. You walked up that little hill, up that little ravine, and you did your thing. This looks like there may have been a spring back in the day, as you can see where the water made it come down through there. That's probably what have made this place a desirable place to set up shop. Now it's just abandoned, just an abandoned spot. Now let's go inside this structure right here. All right, what do we got here? Watching my step here, got my boots on. Just in case I step on anything. Oh, wow, check that out, the old refrigerator. Home, this was somebody's home at one point. Let's look at this kind of refrigerator that is. Let's see, I can see if there's a brand on there, no. But those are the size of the refrigerators, and the appliances look like Coleman range. That's what it is. So these are the size of the appliances back in the day. You know, not like what we share today. This looked like this may have been the main room, and then that's the bedroom. There's an old mattress there that the long materials have rotted off and decayed away. So this was left behind in, I guess, in remembrance of this guy Pete Agaberry. He was an old Death Valley prospector and gold miner. This was his territory. This is what he worked. This is where he got his riches, or maybe not so rich. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video that we presented you today. Different spots along Death Valley, different mills where the prospectors and the miners would work to come out to Death Valley to get their riches. And a lot of them did not get riches, but anyway. So I'm glad you enjoyed. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, just, you know, smack the like button. Let us know that you enjoyed the video, or maybe give us a comment. But until next time, we will see you down the road. Cheers from Beers and Frontiers.